crypto market has its own way of doing things. But right now, that is not the trouble. The trouble is the regulators. The trouble is the governments. They really don't like a lot of people being able to make a lot of money. That's one of the reasons why we are watching things like this in front of us. Now, even the elbow guy has trouble. And all of this is happening at a time like this. Historically speaking, what happens during these times? Opportunities pops up. But before you dive into any asset, you may need to look at the short-term movements in the market and understand what it shows you. Because sometimes it may not be the right time, even though that's the right asset, if you'd like to see it like that. Here, different assets show you different things, but for these other assets, they try to push a little bit higher, whether that's Ether, whether that's Bitcoin. But for XRP, the bulls didn't even try. Interesting. So what are we really looking at? What can we really see through this? Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys get to learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. Right now, the market is still there, close to $2.4, $2.5 trillion. And we're watching things like this. Remember, when they were looting people, SEC didn't do anything. And right now, when SEC needs some money, they are out hunting for the same. Now, to understand the macro, we use a weekly chart at least. And the way the price action shows you things are evolving, it's good. This candle clearly showed you it had a purpose. With that amount of volume, it didn't drop. That's positive. Right now, you have a lot more volume, which is good, and it's selling volume. Even though we have 50% of the selling volume, the price is not down, which is again good. It's showing you bulls are active on a macro support level, but the moment you jump into a short-term chart, you see there is volatility. You see there is a little bit more trouble. What do I mean? You're looking at a daily chart of Bitcoin. You have a lot more volume in the daily close compared to the current movement. So current one, it's just starting. We don't know which direction we're going. But what can we learn from those two candles which has already closed just before us? One, here we had a lot of volume in selling. Sellers were able to push the price down. Two, this most recent daily close at around 90% of the same in buying volume. But the buyers failed to push it back to the upside. So again, on a short term, just like we talked the last day, sellers are trying to weigh in. On a weekly, it's buyers trying to control the narrative. But on a daily, it's still the sellers active in the market. Now we slowly jump on to the 3-day chart. And we are looking at this. Okay, we had some buying volume. It was a small candle. We have similar amount of selling volume, and it's a bigger selling volume, which shows sellers are active in this horizon too. So if we actually keep the same idea and move on to Ether, it's almost similar. On a daily, you have sellers active. The moment you go on to the weekly, it shows you, yeah, they are active, but they are failing to push this to the downside and keep it there. And the volume on the selling side is reducing as well. It's not increasing, it's reducing. That's positive. Now, when you do zoom in to see the price structure, whether it's a corrective move, what we are looking at, that kind of shows you we had a pattern which is almost similar to that of Bitcoin. Now we are coming back down and we should actually anticipate something like this, either a ABC or another leg down like this. That can still play out in the market because we are still in this range. We didn't break higher, retest and bounce. We would like to see that, but that did not happen. Now coming on XRP, keeping it short, keeping it simple, we had this big drop to the downside. You had the retracement going back up to the level of previous support, which then turned into a resistance. So now we're getting rejected. But the rejection shows you something. One candle worth of price action took, literally, this is daily, another 3.5 days to come back to that downside. And the most recent daily close in XRP shows something different than Ether, than Bitcoin. You had almost 80% selling volume, but they failed to push the price down and keep it down. That shows this asset is attracting more buyers. Buyers are coming in to buy this asset. It's positive. So when you actually move on to a weekly chart for XRP as well, you see we had buying volume, but that didn't succeed. Now we have selling volume. They are not succeeding too. So it's a choppy area in the market and it's still about this support region. If we break that to the downside, it's a whole different story of negativeness. But as of now, it is at a support. You don't sell at a support, you buy at a support. That's how markets work. So in general, we haven't changed much in terms of the data. We're kind of still playing out that choppy session, which you would like to see coming back and retesting. So in the Bitcoin terms, when we are plotting the support, remember this range of support resistance is still active here in the market. The 60 towards 59, 58 is still active. That level of supply demand is still there. So if the price does come back down there, you're going to see a lot more opportunities in the altcoin market before we actually bounce back up. So yes, wait for the market to give you a signal on a 4-hour, on a 12-hour or a daily chart showing I reached here and I'm now bouncing back up. That should be key element when you're trying to re-enter or dollar cost average into this market. So if you are here and you would like to get further details on a lot of these different assets in the market, look at the SI family. The link to join that is in the description below in YouTube or in the bio on the Twitter. So guys, if you received value, smash that like button. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.